It's an exciting time to be a Jordan Brand fan. There's been retros of past Jordan sneakers for many, many years, but these Fire Reds kind of signify something quite different. We are in the midst of entering into the second cycle of the Jordan Brand as we know it. One of the things that we talk about with Jordan Brand is the history of these sneakers. We look to the original releases as sort of this marker of quality, of authenticity, of what Jordan actually wore when he played for the Bulls. And we all know about the 3. It has its own story in the Sneaker Hall of Fame. It's the sneaker that Tinker Hatfield created to win over Michael Jordan and solidify his place at Nike, creating the Jordan brand, and then producing some of the most iconic silhouettes, some of the most beautiful, technologically advanced sneakers that we've ever known. This is the Jordan 3 Fire Red. And what's really special about this sneaker is the fact that when it comes to OG specs, there has not been a sneaker more closely aligned with the original OG specs than these right here. And why it's such an exciting time is because we now know that Jordan has an intentionality of wanting to go back to the originals. The thing about Jordan shoes is that the originals are held as incredibly sacred. There are specific colorways, there are specific styles and silhouettes that are incredibly rare to be retroed. We want these shoes to be retroed, but Jordan understands that it is a very, very special occasion when a shoe is released and it's meant to be in that OG style. The release of the Fire Red sort of changes that narrative for me as I see it. I think we are now at a point where Jordan Brand wants to relive and allow a new generation to experience the shoe in its original form. And that's not just colors, that's not just materials, that's shape and how things are produced and manufactured. We want to go back in time. One of the things I've noticed in the era of sneakers that we live in is that there are many, many sneakers that are released that try to give ode to the old style sneakers, making them look aged, making them look sort of deconstructed and vintage. But what's interesting about this particular release of the Fire Red 3s, which have been released multiple times in the past, but never with the Nike Air iconic branding that is part of the OG style, never in this shape, never with this combination of OG colors and attention to detail. What I'm seeing is that Jordan Brand is actually going to take it all the way back. Okay, so let's talk about these sneakers. The first thing that I always try to notice is just the upper material. The white leather is very consistent. It is a higher quality relatively to some of the past retros that I've seen in the last couple of years. When I think about the Fire Red 4s or the Fire Red 5s, the leather on these are superior. And I think that's a direct conscious decision that Jordan Brand has done to make sure that the quality, especially on these OG retros, are higher than what we've seen in the past. I remember the release for the 5s and the 4s, glue stains, just unnatural creases, just relatively inconsistent textures, and it just wasn't a good feeling. And these are supposed to be their most iconic shoes. There should be a lot of pride and enjoyment that these shoes exude, and there's nothing that just kind of just destroys the experience than seeing just poor construction, poor craftsmanship, poor quality on the materials. But luckily on these, I don't see a lot of issues when it comes to defects or weird things. The leather looks really, really nice. Everything looks like as it should be, and that's a really, really good thing. Probably the most significant detail of the Fire Red 3's release here in 2022 is the inclusion of the Nike Air branding on the heel tab. This is what defines the original sneakers from any of the other releases, and this is now the first time we're bringing it all the way back to 1988. This is the exact detailed sneaker that Michael Jordan would have worn during that season, and we finally get that now. And now this shoe is the definitive standard for the Jordan 3, in my opinion. When you compare them to the Black Cement 3s, the Fire Reds are definitely more sleek. The Black Cement 3s that were released, I think in 2018, was it 2018? Yeah, it was 2018. That might be wrong, I'm not sure. But these feel a little bit rounder, a little bit more barrel-like. There's thickness around the ankle collar area. And you can see, I mean, these have been worn and these have not been worn yet. But there's just a slight difference here or there. The proportions, especially the elephant print is very different. As well as the heel tab, the height of it is really, really different. The tongues are really different. And so when you look at individual details, you'll see that there has been a lot of variations. Overall, when I look closely at the stitching and the details and how things were constructed, I think there was a huge initiative to make sure that that these sneakers are as good as they can be. They just look like they were constructed with care, with attention to detail, and that I think they knew that this is a special shoe. It really is. And that brings me to the overall release and sort of the resale market on these things. These are just like hanging right above retail, and I'm debating in my mind to double up on these because they're such an important piece of sneaker history. Like, I think we are downplaying like how important this sneaker is to the overall landscape of where sneakers are today. Like, this was the silhouette. This was the original colorway. This is 1988. And now we're looking at what, 35 years later, and we're going to enter into a new cycle of Jordan sneakers that we've been wanting and being like obsessing over for so long, and now we can actually have a brand new pair that's made with like the latest technology. But yeah, when I look at these sneakers, man, this is beautiful. Like, this is like what you want in a sneaker. Like, this is the sneaker, right? These are so incredible. And so I'm excited to have them in hand, and I'm excited to start wearing them. So that's all I really wanted to say about these Jordan 3s. I really like them. I think they did an incredible job of being very attentive to the details and using high quality materials and constructing it in a beautiful, faithful way. I'm really happy about this particular release, and I'm really excited about what's going to happen in the future as more and more OG sneakers are thought about and released, if we're going to get more of that original magical experience. Hope you like this video. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe, let me know your thoughts, and I'll catch you in the next video.